Dear audience, today again with you. This time we are doing a review of the actor from Back to the Future, Michael Fox. He was born in Edmonton, Alberta on June 9th, 1961. He is a retired Canadian-American actor from his career in cinema and television. Let us remember that his career began in the late 1970s. Among his roles, Marty McFly stands out in the Back to the Future trilogy from 1985 to 1990, Alex Kidron in Family Ties in 1982 and 1989, for which he won 3 Emmys and a Golden Globe, and Mike Flaherty in Spin City in 1996 and 1997-2000, for which he won an Emmy, 2 Golden Globes, and 2 Oscars. After starting his career as an actor under the name of Michael Fox, the Canadian added the letter J, so as not to coincide with the interpreter of the same name and as a tribute to another actor. In 1991, the life of this actor changed forever. Months after the 3rd installment of Back to the Future was released, a neurologist who had been visited by some pain diagnosed him with Parkinson's. He was 30 years old and was at the beginning of his career. Since then, the actor has been living a more or less normal life, with more difficult periods than others, and dedicating himself only partially to interpretation. Already in 2018, his most complicated stage began. He had to undergo spinal cord surgery to stifle a tumor, and after that surgery, his left arm was fractured, but as it has become known, by 2022, his illness has worsened, and with it new obstacles arrived for the actor. He says that his cheek, hand, and then shoulder were broken. They put a replacement shoulder on me, and I broke my right arm, then the elbow, so he made it known. At 62 years old, he says that he feels it more and more. With the recent loss of his mother, everything has become increasingly complicated for Michael Fox. That has led him to live a difficult stage, as he himself does not hesitate to reveal. It has been a huge effort for me, but I am happy, I say it, because I hope that at certain levels there are people capable of finding happiness despite everything that is happening. As a result of an infection that he suffered after the operation of his hand, he had unused extremity, which caused him problems of balance and more frequent falls. But all this made me in his emotional state. The truth is that he never says I have been a bad-tempered guy, but I got in a bad mood. I tried to cut him off and I told my caregivers, say what you say. Imagine that I have told you please at the beginning and thank you at the end. How nice, right? There is something else that agitates, and it is that the great support that he has received from his wife Tracy Paula and his 4 children between 33 and 21 years old. He says that his children have never known him without Parkinson's. They have never known anything else. Despite everything, step by step, he has been recovering from all those infections caused by Parkinson's. It is very important to note that in the year 2000, this actor created the Michael Fox Foundation for the research of Parkinson's and find a cure. Michael speaks in one of his books that pity is a benign form of abuse. I can feel pity for myself, but I don't have time for that, so he reflects it. There are things to learn from this, so let's do it and move on. Let us remember that in the year 2022, he received the honorary Oscar during his illness, and that during his illness he lived an episode where he became an alcoholic, and that 30 years have already passed, he says. Without having a drink, he thanks his fans for their dedication and love for him. At the beginning of the disease and his continuous film projects, he began to use dopamine to hide his disease and always wore accessories on his arm to camouflage the tremors. But he really ensures that the real reason for taking those drugs was to hide from himself. He points out that he became a virtuoso in the manipulation of drug intake to be able to reach his maximum point exactly at the right time and place. In his last work, he tries to narrate his life made up of archive recordings and the recreation of other intimate moments of his life. Some people would see the news of my illness as an end. But I was starting to feel that it was really a beginning, says Fox, that during the recording he falls to the ground several times while he walks. But the important thing is that he gets up. In fact, the official synopsis defines this production as a reflection of what happens when an eternal optimist faces an incurable disease. So far, this review of today, carrying a positive message in the face of difficulties. Thank you, Michael Fox, and thank you for listening to us.